Hello, I got my good friend, my fiddle here with me. We're going to go back in time for a little bit. And this is so my children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they can know a little bit about how it was when I was younger and why things were. My father, when we lived up in Rockville, Connecticut, he worked for the Pratt & Whitney jet engine place, and he'd build jet engines. My mother was a candy striper, and she worked at the hospital in Rockville, Connecticut. Now they were very busy. They didn't have time to educate us, I guess you could say. Is that what I'm trying to say? When I was younger, we were expected to either go to war or go work in some kind of industry. And you don't need a whole lot of education to go to war, and you don't need a whole lot of education to go into industry, not back then anyways. And there was a black lady, and a black husband. I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes by saying black, because that's the way we were designated. I was white and they were black back then. But they would babysit us. Now, here's the funny part. My mother and father, they were not educators. We didn't learn nothing from my mother and father, except how to work tools and how to take things apart and put things back together. And my father, he taught me how to look at something and bring it apart and how to put it back together. But there was no mathematics or writing things down, and I can't remember other than how to take something apart and putting it back together that my mother and father ever taught me how to do. So we had the black lady would babysit us, and the black man would babysit us while mother and father were at work, because that was how we survived back then, was them going to work. And the black lady, her name was Patrisha. I can't remember the black man's name. I'm so sorry. I was just a little boy. I might have been like 8 or 9, 10 years old at the most. But one day, we're sitting on the couch while she's babysitting us, while Mom and Dad was at work, and she said, "What do you know about math?" And I told her, I said, "What's math?" I said, "Well, you know, adding things together and subtracting things and dividing things and multiplying things." And I said, "I don't know." And you'd think by the time I'd been through maybe a couple of years of schooling, I'd know things like that, but no, I was an idiot. I was pretty stupid when I was young. And she said, "Well, here, we're going to learn our multiplication tables. And I said, what's that? And she said, well, when you add things and add things, you're multiplying. I said, okay. And she taught me my multiplication tables up to 6. This is my first experience with mathematics. Two times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. I'll never forget her. I sold my teddy bear doing mathematics for the first time. My first teacher, my first real teacher, Patrisha. Don't expect she's still alive, nor her husband. They had 30 years on me when I was just a little boy. Great God above. I know